We're all communists.
All right. We are live, federal investigators. Welcome to the workshop number 350. Halfway to 700. Yay!
Oh, that's a lot.
Oh, man. We have 4 amazing comedians as far away as Canada. But we are spread out. We are spread out.
You're from represented by every region almost.
Every region. We've got
West Coast,
Robert.
East Coast.
We are live. I'll just do the intros real quick. We got Robert Ma talking to us from Vancouver. Robert, wave to the camera.
Hey.
That was a thumbs up. We'll do this. Going a little further east. We're gonna go and see Danny.
I love it.
Oh, so fake. Okay, and then we'll keep going east, and we're gonna see Elner coming to us from the Drake's hometown. Oh, the six.
No. What can I do? Like usual.
Toronto. And then you got me. Just go south until you smell it. Hamilton, Ontario. Okay? Welcome. Welcome to the Comedy Workshop. We pointed out that every single one of our last names sounds like we came from a communist country, and our topics kind of reflect that. So we are just, this is Antifa. Okay? We're here. Okay? You found us. We're on the workshop. Hey, Rob, you're kind of flickering a bit, but if you haven't been on this show before, if you haven't watched, this is a comedy workshop. We might say some bad stuff. We might talk about hammers and sickles. Who knows? But what we do is we're going to work on material that we were given a week ago, but most of us probably worked on it today. And we have 5 minutes, and at the end of your 5 minutes, you're going to see this on the bottom. 4 minutes, and then you're going to wrap it up. And then what we do is we give each other feedback, and sometimes people are watching and they can post. So right now we have, this is a callback to 2 shows ago, vegetarian meals be like, and then just a bunch of vegetables. So listen, we're going to have a lot of interaction. We're going to have a lot of fun. I usually do the order in which people came.
I love it.
Rob, are you gonna do? Okay. Okay. All right, guys. Let's. I don't know where our first comedian is going. Probably. Let's take a guess. Is he going to pee or poo? What's going on?
Probably gonna drop a deuce.
Okay. All right. Well, then
at least 5 minutes that list. At least 1 5 minutes that list.
All right. So we're live on Facebook. We're live on YouTube. You guys can share the link, but maybe I'm going to start with Danny. If that's okay with you, Danny, because I don't know where Robert is supposed to go first.
Yeah, that's good. Let's go.
Yeah. Okay, cool. Do you want to go solo or do you want to see us all?
No, let's see us all. That's fine.
All right, cool. So Robert is going to talk to us. Danny's going to talk to us from Edmonton about legislation. You got 5 minutes on the clock. Justin's watching. Let's do this.
Justin, I won't let you down, Justin. Do it for you. So when Ryan said that most of us wrote our set list like today, that is 100% right. I completely forget about these things, and I just set timers on my phone. It's like, hey, 30 minutes podcast, and you're like, I only have 29 minutes to make eggs and eat them. So, all right, I have a set list, but I don't want to talk about. I don't want to talk about any Corona stuff because I don't know. I think it's hacky. Everybody's doing it. I want to talk about the last day that I greened out. So greening out, for you guys don't know, if you smoke too much weed, you start to kind of lose your mind a little. You kind of start to see past the matrix, and you freak out. Your heart beats too fast. It's a horrible feeling. The last time I had one of those was the last time it was illegal to smoke weed in Canada. And I just remember thinking, I'm like, God, what would it have been like during like prohibition to like show up at a hospital when you just smashed out drunk and they're like, we got to pump his stomach. Like, oh God, the last day of your prohibition. I can just imagine the guys being kind of like, oh, like, why did you do it? Why did you do it? And the guy being like, it was the last day. I had to celebrate, which is a really alcoholic thing to say. I want to talk about some weird laws. Weird laws in, I don't know, the world. In Vancouver, they didn't make it a law, but they were going to put into legislation that you could have sex through a glory hole. And everybody just accepted this as like a reasonable thing from the government. They're like, yeah, okay, that's fine. You're like, what are you talking about? What kind of perverts are there living? We're like, what are we doing here? I remember kind of losing my mind about that. Oh, I don't know. There's been a lot of crazy laws. I'm really trying to steer away from like slavery and everything like that. I mean, wacky laws like, oh, you were allowed to gunfight someone if you had an argument with them. Like, could you imagine that? Like, you get into a fender bender and the guy's like, okay, pull out your registration and your gun. We're dueling to the death. Winner takes all. He takes all your property. Everybody wants to go back to like the Wild West. Everybody forgets how like crazy that shit was. Oh. Legislation. I'm trying to riff here a little bit, you guys. Do you guys have any weird laws that you've heard about, like passed anywhere?
I grew up in a town where it was illegal to have 56 K internet. It was illegal. So it took us 10 years longer than most towns to get high speed internet because our phone lines were so old. They thought faster internet would burn down the town. So that's how small my town was.
That's awesome.
It was like Footloose.
You know, I come from Romania, and it's actually like really different there. Like all the different.
Oh, I told you, the government's watching, guys.
He's got the Romanian internet.
He literally said, "I come from Romania. The government cut."
He's got that 56K connection.
Okay, I'm gonna remove him from the stream and maybe he can come back. Okay, that was Rob.
No, that was Danny.
Sorry, that was Danny. I'm just trying to trick whoever. Here's some comments. Someone put a bunch of poo emojis, and someone said that's not weed. So I'm not really sure. He's gonna come back. So why don't we hold our comments for him? Yeah, is that okay? Let's just let me just go to the chat real quick and see if he's coming back because that was a really awkward time to cut out. Just rejoin if you can. Okay. All right. So that was Danny, guys. Give it a round of applause for Danny. I feel like this is actually some sort of weird. Oh, here, maybe let's see. Did he private chat? What's going on here? He's backstage now. I don't see him. Okay, here we go. Let's bring him back. Okay.
Can you imagine if this is in a real show? The person just disappears and shows up backstage.
I love that the internet is like, this is getting too bad. We got to pull him off. Like the Google Home that's listening to me tank is like, listen, the FBI agents are like, we got to cut the internet again. This is so fucking bad.
The last thing we heard was the Romanian government click.
Oh, yes. Perfect then. That's how I wanted to end it. Perfect.
Did you want to end it there or did you have more?
No, God, no, I'll end it there. It was yeah, it was a lot of riffing. So
okay. So that was Danny for real, guys. Okay. I only had one comment when you're talking about that there was a law where we had to have sex through a glory hole.
Okay.
Maybe like I honestly expected more from Minister Dirk Diggler. I don't know.
Okay, that's good.
So we will go with comments to Rob first.
Well, I don't know. I guess you didn't have a lot of time, right? But you probably could have looked up all these weird laws. Like there's a ton of weird laws in the States. And all
that's true,
place,
yeah.
Right? And you could just rip on those. Other than that, I thought it was pretty good. You delivery's nice and smooth. These things are really hard, man. And I had to read on centerfolds. What the fuck are you supposed to say about centerfolds, right? I mean, it's not only about naked chicks, right? You have to like take it to a different direction. It's not easy. 10 minutes on something, but I liked it.
All right. All right, Elmer, do you have any feedback for Danny that doesn't include a criticism of the Romanian government?
Okay. Before we get to the Romanian government, I wish that would have been the beginning, right? Like it does include the Romanian government, but it's not about the Romanian government. So get to that stuff, because that stuff you kind of like know about, right? Or you can just go on and on about that kind of stuff, right? Because we don't have that perspective and you do. So it would be really cool to see how your perspective, or like your perspective with the knowledge of the Romanian government, like put us in that mindset.
Yes. Okay.
And talk to us about it. Would be easier for you, and it would be like more coherent. You can just start hitting like notes from that point on.
Okay. Yeah. You know, I've had other people tell me to lean into the kind of Romanian side of me, and I don't know. I've never actually really done a lot of Romanian jokes. It was like, I don't know. I came here when I was 5, but I don't know. Growing up with like communist parents and stuff, like there's a lot there.
Sure.
So, yeah.
You don't.
My mom used to tell me stories like, oh, in gym class we used to throw grenades. And I was like, what the fuck?
Oh.
What? You want some more pasta? I was like, what?
Dude, if you grew up with communist parents, that's 5 minutes right there. That topic for sure.
That's what I should have talked about. Okay.
And you can also match it to the stuff you did talk about. You're like, you started with weed and stuff like that. Okay, how was that conceived there?
Okay.
Like, chop your head off, whatever. What did they do over there? Like stuff like that. And you can just play back and forth. Like over here, it's like this. Over there, it's like that. Like with all the prohibition, all those kind of stuff, you can give like a Romanian twist to it, whatever. Sounds weird.
Romania's in the news right now. The minister of tourism and the head of the Bronze Castle, Castle Dracula, is like begging people, like, come on guys, come back to creepy Transylvania, we miss you. It's like
you can get the COVID shot there now.
That's right. Yeah, people don't know this, but even as you're walking up to Bran Castle, it's like you have to walk through an entire city of like Dracula mugs and Dracula t-shirts, Dracula ice cream, like fucking it's insane. And then you're like, oh, here's this old shitty castle, but here's like an entire economy based around this one thing.
Yeah.
I don't know. I would go.
Yeah.
I just would be upset if I bought like a Dracula mug that looked like Dracula. I want to see like Vlad the Impaler. I want to see the dude that was putting Turks' heads on sticks. I don't want it. What's going on tonight? He better be getting a mug. Okay.
There we go.
I forgot I got one.
At Castle Dracula?
Dracula, Romania. No, but it's like handmade. So.
Well, that could be your finisher. You can just like sip from it, like casually, just like put it in the
long story short, I don't sell out,
That's right.
All right, that was Danny, everybody. Danny. All right. Now let's go to my man, Mr. Robert. Do you have to leave or are you good?
No. I'm good for the night.
All right. Robert's going to talk to us about centerfolds.
Yeah.
Here we go.
Well, anyhow, centerfolds, right? Not an easy topic. You don't just think about naked girls. I mean, you guys probably do, but there must be centerfolds in other magazines. Like Martha Stewart must have a centerfold of a full range, and people like admiring the range and saying, wow, look at those dials, I'm sure that Screw magazine must have a blown up picture of a big screw, and you could tell that the photo's Photoshop because all the threads are too perfect. Field and Stream probably has a good picture of a big rod and reel, and everybody's like, what a rod, like you're not just talking about naked chicks. Like if I had a job, I wouldn't want to be the guy who has to decide where to put the staples for Playboy. Like, I mean, what do men like? They want to see more navel, or they want to see more vagina? I mean, where do I put the staples, right? I don't know. There's so much pressure. I'm thinking these guys probably end up in a rehab place for, fucked up people that are thinking about staples 24/7. I mean, they can probably quote you every model number and every make and brand. and then they get panic attacks every time they drive by the Staples store. You know, I don't know. I mean, if I was a centerfold, you know, I would hope that the guy who staples my centerfold doesn't give me a one in the Johnson, because then I never planned on a Albert. You know, but I'm sure I could be in a Playgirl magazine for seniors. I mean, I don't know if they have that, but you'd see a magazine with all the months of the year, and Santa Claus would be trying to slide down the chimney. You know, I don't know. It'd be a little bit too much to ask. Centerfold is a good word. It explains exactly what you're getting. You're getting the centerfold. Like, it's a powerful word, you know? Like, some words don't have such clear meaning. Like military intelligence, you know, that's an oxymoron. Friendly fire, an oxymoron. I wish all words were as clear cut as centerfold. But the problem with being a centerfold is you'd have to have an attitude, you know, like you're rolling with all these really important words like mega rich and front line and hyperdrive, you know, and all the other meaningless words like penniless or helpless or I don't know. The other less words would be giving you the middle finger as you drove by, right? I'm sure that's what would be happening. Like, all the big words would be driving in an El Camino, just cruising down the highway, and all the little words would be like, fuck you. One day I'll be a centerfold. You know, I'm sorry, I'm old now. You know? I don't know who came up with the centerfold. I guess they were just going to blow up the picture of Marilyn Monroe, and they figured, fuck, we can't get her. We can try to get her all on one page, eh? I mean, this would be a good idea. There goes my Canadian Tourette's, eh? Anyhow, but she's a big girl, right? So you have to staple all her assets, and you know, you can't cover her assets basically, right? Well, where are you supposed to put the staples? Like right in the center under her breast or above her vagina? Like, again, fucking decision making. I hate decision making. Like, you go into a store, you got to decide which shampoo to use for what. I just fucking hate it. Just give me one fucking shampoo for a change. All right? Okay, I'm done.
All right. That was the angriest set I've seen about centerfolds ever. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm gonna put you on the spot. Toronto, Elner. What did you think of Robert Ma's jokes about staples? No, centerfold.
Centerfold and staple. Okay, so I have a tag about staples, a couple, where you can just say, well, you have like, when you were saying like you were looking for a word to put the people that like staples, like fucked up people that like staples, I would suggest like super secretaries, like, you know them as Karens. They just love their stapler. They have a stapler collection, and they just like staple everything with specific staplers, like psycho people like that, and office people, you know. I know I wrote down drilling magazine, but I don't know why. Where was I going with this? And again, this also popped into my mind. Like, centerfold is like one thing, but the models, like, super, like the way you were describing it, like your angry manner made me think about this. But like the models fight with each other over being the centerfold.
Oh, okay.
So I don't know if you want to explore that area. It just popped into my mind, just the anger and stuff.
Definitely another angle.
Yeah.
I was just looking at angles to this word, right? Because that's what you have to do when you're expanding thought. You have to look at different ways. You have to look at how it's constructed and what it means. All kinds of shit. I mean, it took me like a long time to write that. I put some serious thought into that.
Yeah.
The anger thing, I think that's just part of my nature. I'm the grumpy old man. I'm always fucking ranting, giving people shit, you know, and not censoring myself, because I hate censorship, you know.
You're in there. We wouldn't tell you as like the nurturing, nice old man. Like, we can't. We're not.
I'm not nurturing nice old man. No way.
I love that you lead into that. That's awesome.
Today I saw this guy riding a bike, right? And he's a fat guy, right? He's buzzing by me. I'm like, yeah, turn off that motor, then we'll go at it, you know? Like, he's just riding it on the motor. Like, just, what is that? That's not, you're not fitter than I am. You know what I mean? Like, you're using a motor. Turn off the motor, then we'll go at it, you know? Like, anyhow, not everything's a competition, but I guess at my age, it starts to get a competition. It starts to be a competition. Danny can still smile because he's got youth on his side. Wait till you get his photos up.
I'm here smiling the whole time.
You can grump about everything, man. I'm telling you.
That's all I got. That's all I got.
All right, cool. So we can go to a comment. It says, "I want to see Robert as a centerfold." Hashtag I'm not Ryan. So whoever that was, thank you, Facebook user. Hey, Danny, did you have any comments for?
I love the staples for the nudie idea. Like they would be like just this guy like losing his mind. Like he'd go home. But I was thinking he'd be like a family man. He's like, Playboy, it offered me a pension. It offered me benefits. Like this was a good job back then. And he'd go home and he'd be like, just arguing with his wife over dinner, being like, I don't know where to put the staples. I don't know. You want to see more pussy? I don't know if they want more tits. And his wife doesn't understand. And he thinks his son is gay. And he's like, God, it's just me alone in this world. I don't know where to put the staples. I don't know. That's what I thought. I really like
that didn't seem rehearsed. That felt natural.
When you said the calendar of the old guys, you're like, oh, I wonder if they do a Playgirl for like seniors. I wrote down this tag. I'm like, what if it's the same guy, but it's like a really old guy? So in January, he's, kind of wearing this one cashmere shirt, and like July, he's in shorts, and then in December, he's just dead. Like it's just his corpse dressed up as Santa, and you're like, we had to finish the calendar. He was on contract. Like we had to do it. I like the your Canadian Tourette's, just like tag, just like thrown out there, like fuck my Canadian Tourette's. I was so funny. And then I liked Elner's idea about the models fighting over the centerfold. There was like a lot that you could do there too. I liked it, man. That was awesome.
Thank you.
All right. I have some ideas here. Did you say something about the centerfolds? They were all old dudes. You could do a whole porn mag just with the spokespeople for fish sticks. Google the Highliner guy. He is so hot. And there's another brand of fish sticks called Gordon. It's like, I don't know who the market is for fish sticks, but it's probably older, lonely women. So just maybe you could put like a magazine, a centerfold, and fish sticks box. But Google it right now. Highliner fish sticks. The guy looks like he's gonna come take your girl. So when you said you don't know where the staple is gonna go, you've heard of a Prince Albert, but you don't want to have a swing line in your red line. Those are staple terms.
Swing line.
Yeah, that's the swing line. It's the red stapler from Office Space. Everyone here is Googling Highliner fish sticks. I can see Elner doing it.
No,
you definitely have a type. I can see what you'd be into.
I used to have a professor, a marketing professor. He was like an old dude, and he first lecture he comes in, he's like, guys, I'm a male model, and we're like, no, you're not. And it turns out dude is a male model, but he is a model for like Farmers Magazine. He'd be like the guy in front of the tractor, or like one of those Highline commercials. He's one of those people, like when you need the old like farmery looking dude, that's the guy. He never worked a day on a farm in his life, but he looks like he does.
That's awesome.
Fish sticks now sexier.
As if they could ever
and
be
then
more
I thought of that board meeting. Who decided to make the centerfold? It's like there's a team of all the CEOs from Playgirl, Hustler, Highliner, and they're like, we need to see more pussy, more cock, but how? And someone's like, just fold it. Just like,
what about one where they put it over your dick and it makes it like even smaller, and you're like, no.
Fish sticks. Now that is, I think that corners both markets for people that love fish sticks and women that want to see sexy older men. Someone market this right now, and it's 50-50. It's 50% centerfolds, and then it's just food recipes for fish. And I just thought maybe the first centerfold ever. What would the tagline be? Like a comic book, now with a bonus, they're like bonus 6 pages, like now with a bonus 6 inches. So I don't know. I don't know why we're talking about fish sticks, but let's just Google Highliner. He's very hot, and so is the Gordon guy. Basically, fishermen are hot when they age well, just like Robert. Robert Mon, everybody.
Robert, start fishing. Start fishing.
I'm saying you could definitely be in one of those magazines. Robert Ma, everybody.
Can be your centerfold.
All right. Let's now take it. Oh, what was first centerfold was typewritten. Ooh, ooh, ooh. Ah. There's the text. Okay. Let's go to Toronto. Elner Kazimov is did I say that right?
Yeah.
Is gonna talk all about voter registration. No, sorry, just registration.
Just registries. Not even registration. I can talk about registration too. Let's talk about registration. I'll get to registry. So, I've battled with registration before, and I've won 2 out of 2. The way I won it is by beating my speeding ticket. So I got a huge speeding ticket when I was living back in the Rockies a long, long time ago. I was, trying to get through school, so I had to work at a sawmill in the Rockies. Not taking the terrorist route. I wanted an education, so I said, okay, fine, fuck it. I'll go to school. I'll pay for it with timber industry dollars. Now timber is expensive. Back then, timber was cheap as fuck. Well, cheaper than now. But at the time, I was riding a motorcycle, and I'm coming back. I'm going to a shift. It's like a night shift, 7 to 7. Great and fun times. I don't know if you ever had to work a night shift in the rain outside while everybody else is in the warm, hot sawmill, sweating in their t-shirts, and you're outside in 3 raincoats, fucking getting poured on, switching. I would take the breaks to switch a pair of clothes, put them on like a hot like oven, and then put a different pair. So I would sit there and freeze over the break so I could have a pair of semi-dry clothes for the next half shift. So I'm about to go enjoy this joyous 12 hours when all of a sudden I'm riding my bike and I go to adjust my mirror, and the mirror stays in my hand. So I was like, what the fuck? So when you're doing 70 and the mirror stays in your hand, luckily I had like a hoodie. I forgot my coat at home, but I put put it in the hoodie, get to work, slip on some mud, drop the bike on my leg, permanently burn my pants into my shin. I would show you, but you probably don't want to see it right now. Anyway, that was a great shift. Think about quitting the whole 12 hours. And then I go home. I'm like, fuck this night. I'm going to go home. I'm going to shower. I'm going to sleep. It'll be great. So there's like a kilometer ride to the house. I do that kilometer at like 7 in the morning, probably on 180 kilometers an hour on like a road that goes from 100 to 80 to 50. So at no point am I even close to the speed limit. I'm in a tiny town of like 300 people. But usually I'm by myself. So I'm riding pretty fast. And the sun's right in my eyes, so I can't see shit. I said, okay, why don't I slow down? And all of a sudden in my mirror, I see something go past me, like a big white truck. Look at the one rear mirror that I now have, and the lights come on, and it's a cop. And homie comes to give me a ticket. But the coat I forgot at home had my license and my wallet and all the shit that has to do with my identification. Luckily, the place I was staying at was by the cop shop, so they said, you know what, you're there, so just go home. Here's your ticket. Like, just pay like $350, whatever. I go home. The other thing that was in the coat was the keys to the house. I locked the house outside. I locked myself outside the house, so now I have to sleep in the garage. So this day didn't end. It was a long ass day. But then I finally broke into the house, took a shower, fell asleep, woke up, and now I have to go to the registration to pay for this amazing ticket. Turns out, while I was asleep, the office that I was at the time in Calgary, there was one main office that had an electrical fire, and the office blew up. So I didn't have to pay. 1 year later, I get another ticket for something else. I go to pay that, and that's when the Calgary floods happened. So that building got flooded again, and again I didn't have to pay. So there we go. That's about registries on the spot.
All right, Elner. I think for legal reasons, I have to mention that we are not part of Antifa. So
Fuck no.
if you do give Elner a speeding ticket, your police station will not blow up, or there won't be an unplanned flood in the middle of Alberta. It's just a coincidence.
That's played out. It's gonna be a cyber attack or some shit like that.
Oh, did you guys hear there was just a cyber attack on a whoops?
What?
Yeah,
Running agenda.
Russians. Actually, by the way, Russians just hacked the U.S. oil supply, and now there's oil shortages all over America. Elner Kazimov, everybody.
I got my bag full of gas right here.
Yeah, and that's it. It's a very convenient burn you have there. Okay, so I don't have much because I find in this workshop it's fun, listen, but it's hard to give feedback on story sets because you don't know where to go. So my only suggestion is maybe try and punch it up a bit.
Okay.
Yeah. Because with story sets, I don't know if you need this advice, but often when you go in on a story set, and it's like your whole set, and it doesn't work, it's the longest story of your life. Because my first set was a story set, and what I did was I went and where I think there was jokes like punchlines, I would bold them. And I would see how much text was in between each of those bolds and go in, and you don't have to do a punchline, but you have to do like little things like my set starts like I grew up in a small town. That's not funny, but I was like, the kind of town where you throw rocks at trains, smoke weed, or play doctor with your cousin. That's not like the full joke, but it's like I'm setting up, so you move along. So maybe you could make some jokes along the way. And then the overall story is good. And then there's maybe at the end, there's usually a punch that kind of brings it back to the start, which you did, registration. So that was just there's a little feedback. So Robert, no, you know what? I'm going to go to Danny first. Danny. And someone says with stories, it needs to be funny or engaging. And then someone also said, hotliner, it's grinder for semen. So we're still talking about fish stick, dude. Someone else said, let's just get these out of the way. It's highliner because that's where on a scale you need to be in order to enjoy it. And then this was about your set. I heard of an act of God insurance, but that's crazy. So you could probably take some of that. These are all the things we tell you those are yours to take. This is feedback for yours. So that's good. So we'll go to Danny, see what Danny says. Add quips to the filler if you can. Yeah. Scott's sort of just agreeing with you have a story of punches, but you could just throw little joke things on the way, and then all of a sudden your story, which is fun to tell, becomes a stand-up story too. So Danny, do you have any comments, feedback, plans for the next attack?
I'd say your stories are really good, but like first of all, you need to kind of slow them down a little bit because you rush through them so quickly. I was like, oh, was there a joke even in there? Because it's just like right all the way through it. And you have like lots of really good details, but just like Ryan said, like you have to kind of still incorporate kind of jokes along the way. So if it's like, I don't know, it has to have punchlines. Like you can tell funny stories, but there still has to be like punchlines sprinkled throughout. You can't tell a 4-minute long story and have like, punchline at the end, because then people are like, if that doesn't work, it's a really bad set.
Yeah.
I really liked your terrorist joke there, that it was like, hey, listen, I'm not a terrorist, but I don't mind profiting from acts of terrorism. Like if they blow up the registry and I can't pay my tickets, I don't mind it. Yeah, I thought you could go off that. That was pretty funny too. Yeah, man, you had a lot of good good ideas, good everything in there. It's gonna be different when you actually get in front of crowds instead of just 3 dudes.
No, absolutely.
Can I ask you guys, how long have you guys been doing comedy for?
I did for about like half a year before moving out here, and then that's it, just the pandemic workshop. Pretty much.
I was 4 to 5 years.
Okay.
I was on the stage a lot before COVID hit. And now I'm trying to do an outdoor show.
Mhm.
I'm meeting resistance, meeting a lot of cancel culture. In fact, one person called the cops on us. and it wasn't because of COVID restrictions. It was because of the content of the material.
Long story didn't have like.
We're trying to do a comedy show in a park, which is dog walkers and mothers and babies and all that crap.
Snitches. Apparently.
Better location. I've got a show tomorrow, and the second location is much more accommodating. They're not a bunch of cancel culture Karens or whatever it is, you know. Yeah. I would agree with these guys, and I feel like I don't know if everybody understands this, but comedy is a science. You know, it's a science, and I don't know if I have to explain to you guys how it works, but you guys probably already know that you got to set up the joke so that the brain follows a certain pattern, and then when you throw the punchline in, the brain has to switch its pattern, and it's at that moment where the body what creates laughter. So if you lose people in your lead up to your punchline, that magic's not going to happen. So if stories are too long, you're losing the crowd already, right? So I would agree with these two guys about how you got to punch it up and use punchlines and everything. You got to, you just tell a story, but you make it really short, and then you throw the punchline. And
I will just say that the comment "too long" was from Scott answering how long he's been in comedy. But this comment is related to this. It's a science in an art like poker. It has no limit and limit. Sometimes it's like strip poker, though. I think I've done it for 4 years now, but since COVID, I don't know how to count this stuff.
It's difficult, just to really make a quick aside. I went to this place in Vancouver, which was really not very liberal-minded, right? And it was a coffee shop. Nobody was really paying attention to me. They're all stuck in their laptops. It was a coffee shop. And I said, okay, is it me, or is it the audience, or is it the material? So I want to do an experiment. So I took the same material, the exact same material, and I took it to the east side of Vancouver, where people are just coming straight off the street, or they're having a few drinks. And I found out those people laughed a hell of a lot more than these anal people that were always overthinking stuff. Because to me, it has to be a natural thing. But that's my opinion. I mean, that's one person's opinion. Anyhow, that's me. I've said my bit.
No problem. And I'll just I'll give you guys some of the funniness that's happening in Facebook, because there's people watching, by the way. Someone said "too long," and then I said that should be your new fish stick spokesperson name, and he said "tuna long," which is great. Then he said he's been doing comedy 18 years. That's Scott Porteous. He sets this up.
Yeah.
So you know what I'm going to do, Elner? I'm going to do my set, but then when we do our free ball one, I'll do my first set ever, which is a story set that I still come back to and still punch it up, because story sets can just evolve over time. I haven't done it in about 6 months, so we'll see how it goes, but I'll see if maybe it helps, or maybe I need to take my own advice. But my topic for tonight was jobs. I had to Google the word, I'll be honest, and it's either a name for skinny guys who died from pancreatic cancer, or it's an old relic from BPE, before pandemic era. I don't know. Apparently, people back in the day used to leave their homes and they got paid to do it. I don't know. Like all these idiots now, they're getting paid to sit at home and watch Netflix while we all become medical experts on Facebook. I mean, I think after the pandemic, it's going to be hard to get jobs and get out of their houses. Seriously, I don't know about you guys. You guys look kind of fit. I've put on a lot of weight since Corona, so I currently only have sweatpants. I have various kinds of sweatpants. I've got sleeping sweatpants. I've got fancy dinner sweatpants. I've got sweatpants that are just for ball sweat. Like I haven't left my basement in so long that when the Uber Eats guy comes, I just kind of go to that window at ground level and I go, Psst, just bring it here like a weird Ninja Turtle. I mean, I think once this is over, the very thought of having to get up every morning, get clothed, dressed, and go take care of someone else's work sounds terrible. Like if I don't get up right now to feed my kids, there's no way I'm going to get up and help you guys out, right? It's just not going to happen. I'm not a good dad. I would say that. That's a lie. I did think about what jobs I would do after the pandemic, just to see what I would, get in. I would just watch Dumb and Dumber. At the end of the movie, when the Swedish bikini team comes and they need an oil person, I could probably do that, but I'd need a lot of money because that's hazard pay. That's a frontline worker, right? I think I would also be a taste tester for Popeyes. I don't know if you guys have eaten Popeyes, but even their biggest screw up is going to be 10 times better than whatever I cook. My cooking's gotten so bad that when I say that I'm cooking, she uses the same excuses she used to do for sex. Like she'll say, "Oh, I've got a headache," you know what, I'm not in the mood. You know what? We should have sex. Like my cooking is getting really bad. And I think obviously I would do the one job everyone would do and blow. I'd sign up for that. But I think back to the best job I ever had. And, you guys can think about it too. Why the hell did they fire me? And then I think, oh, right, the lawsuit. And then you realize if they never found the body, you wouldn't be, you'd still be working there. But the best job I ever had was in high school when I worked at Walmart. I don't know if anyone here has ever worked at a Walmart, but I worked in the garden center, which is the only spot in Walmart where they don't have cameras or a smoke detector. So basically, I worked at the store's exclusive nightclub that caters to teenagers with acne, single moms, and business school dropouts. It was awesome, One time I actually smoked an entire joint with someone, had a 15-minute conversation, and then they look at me and they're like, "So you're going to help me buy patio furniture?" I'm like, "You're a customer?" Like, it was awesome. I think it was great, though, because we had zero responsibilities, no ambitions. And our bosses had very little expectations. I mean, I haven't had the bar set that low since I told my family and wife, that I think we're good. Like when she said we're going to have kids, I got the same performance review. They just said, "Listen, we don't expect much. We've already got a lot of help. We just want you to show up. And if someone shits on the floor, you clean it, same as Walmart." The problem was they wanted to promote me. And when I got promoted at Walmart, the first thing they had me do, was fire someone. And it wasn't fun anymore because I don't know if you guys ever heard the term when someone's being lazy. They say they're fucking the dog. You ever heard that? Or they're screwing the pooch. I don't know about you guys, but I'm a dog lover. And I also think that's a terrible term for being lazy. Have you guys ever tried to fuck a dog? That's hard work. You got to feed it peanut butter. You got to teach it not to bark. And if you get caught, your dog days are over. It's crazy. So, stay in school. That's my jobs. All right. So this is where people like Scott can offer some feedback. So Scott says, to play off the weird Ninja Turtle joke, I've only been drinking
Mutagen
and tonic. So I guess is that what they drank?
That's what they were in the dirty subway.
Yeah. And then it says, and that's why you shouldn't be a dog walker. They all walk like cowboys. All right, so we could just go around. I'll go to Elner first. You can give me some comments, some feedback. You can tell me that you work at the SPCA and you'd never want to see me again. I don't care.
I liked it a lot. I like that you made me think of Steve Jobs at the beginning, and it was like a nice little kind of puzzle your brain had to solve, and then it was funny like later. Basically, you did have a punch up for everything. and like at every line would be a setup for something else, pretty much. Yeah, I liked everything. You could be like, because when you were talking about like fucking the dog and everything, like to Steve's sorry, to Scott's comment, like you're now applying to be a dog walker.
Yeah, well, that's a good way to. Yeah.
Maybe like at the end, yeah.
Yeah. What I'm saying is there's an opening for dog walkers. I got fired.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's why dog walker. All right, Mr. Ma, how you doing?
Good. Well, I just did a little bit on Jaws before, and I talked about the lack of motivation, like you did with the sweatpants, but I did it with the pajamas. I said I just got 2 sets of pajamas, one for indoors, one for outdoors. That's it. And for gardening.
Talking your mic.
Huh?
You should talk to your mic. There you go.
Yeah. Yes. Sorry, it was hard to hear you.
Okay. Well, I basically just said that, there's a definite lack of motivation. Like you don't want to go outside because you're not used to it anymore. And so you have 2 sets of pajamas, one for indoors and one for outdoors. And like, what the fuck is casual Fridays on a Zoom show? Like naked? I don't like how much more, laid back can you be besides pajamas?
It's just like what's a video game everyone's playing right now online?
Oh, Warzone.
Fortnite.
Warzone.
Yeah.
I'm not into
Friday Fortnite. Yeah, casual Fridays.
And the other thing is like, how they offered a free Pornhub subscription, right, to those people who stayed home, right? I'm thinking like, what's going to happen when we have to return to work? Like, I can barely get out of the bedroom to make breakfast when I got Pornhub on. Like, how the hell fuck am I going to find the front door? So I would go off on the motivation aspect. Like, I mean, they offer, like, there's this show on TV called The Naked and Afraid, right? And there's these guys wandering around naked and afraid, and they have to get off the island. I mean, I'm wandering around naked and afraid of my apartment. I'm afraid to walk on the door. There's nobody outside waiting to give me a prize money, Like, I just don't get it. So that's just my own shit. I don't know. I thought it was good. Like, I like your introduction. It was smooth, very smooth, very, very smooth. Like Elmer was saying, you led into Steve Jobs, and then you talked about different kinds of. Maybe what you want to do is like, just as a suggestion, you could compare work life to like regular life. Like when you're working, you only think about 3 or 4 times during the day. You think about coffee, morning coffee, noon, afternoon coffee, and the end of the day. You divide it up in 4 quarters. That's all you do. Like anything you can't do before morning coffee, you wait till noon. And anything you can't do at noon, you wait till afternoon coffee. And anything you can't do at afternoon coffee, you wait till the end of the day. And then you never get shit done because you leave it for the next day. Like that's what work is like. Like I agree, it's going to be a pain in the ass when you go back to work. It's just we're getting so lazy. And then you could talk about like how we're supposed to flatten the curve, but myself, I have my fridge and I are on a first name basis. Like we're releasing a sex tape next week, and we're not flattening the curve. We're expanding the equator. It's like anyhow.
Thanks, Rob. I wrote that. Those some good feedback. Keep in mind, I procrastinate some of these. But Scott says, I feel like with the dog fucking phrase, you could say, why can't cats be fucked? Why can't you fire someone for fucking the puss? Because that's an HR nightmare. All right. And then I think Danny, did you say anything?
I also had a lot of taglines for that screw in the pooch. I thought that was really good one to go into because you have like a million options from there. I wrote the pooch screw. Like if I screw the pooch, I'm fucking up. But if the pooch is screwing me, am I doing good in life? Like you're real.
I'm all about equality. I let him hump the leg. Yeah,
that's right. Successful. Everybody wants to fuck me, especially the dogs. Okay.
In China, fuck the dogs, we eat them.
I like that you're honest about how you've been during this pandemic. You're not like, hey, I got my life together and stuff. You're like, God, I did Uber Eats guys constantly at my house. I thought if you could make it even more gross, instead of a Ninja Turtle, make yourself like a You know that Goonies monster?
Yeah, I could be
Just
some
a
sort
base-
of bridge troll.
That's right. Yeah.
Or,
I thought, what if the guy just like throws it under and you just like scatter off?
or what's that clown? The clown that kind of
Yeah, like Pennywise or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
There's a lot of.
I'll give
yeah.
you a tip.
That's right. Yeah.
5 stars.
I
Just so
really
you know,
like.
that's the window I'm talking about. You know, it's right there. Like, and sometimes when I order late night food, I don't want my family to wake up. I'm actually like, come here.
So you don't have to share with them. That's good.
Yeah. Well,
And
they
then-
don't know. What they don't know can't kill them. Just slow down my metabolism.
Yeah, and then that Walmart job, I really like that that you talked about. That was a lot of funny stories in there. I thought about like when you smoke the joint with a customer and he's like, "Help me look for some furniture or something." He just walks through a wall and you're like, "Did I fucking what happened just now? Like, do I have to help a guy or?" I also thought about that happening like a callback later in the joke, like, "Oh, when you get promoted inside of Walmart, you actually have to kill the guy above you, so you have to like gladiator battle him. You have to take his life. There can only be one warehouse manager. There can only be one." Yeah, I don't know. Those were all the stupid ideas I had.
All right, no problem. So that was me. So this is thanks. So this is the part of the show where I didn't mention at the start, but I don't know if you guys have some more material that you guys want to work on. Does everyone here have that?
yeah.
Elmer, do you have that?
yeah.
Yeah, okay, cool. So we can go in the order we came, or we can go in the order it was supposed to be. Rob, are you
Sure.
ready, or do you want to?
I'll go. It doesn't matter. So I hate border. Should I go?
Oh yeah, I'm just gonna let everyone know. We've all been a little under the time, but if we're coming up to 4 minutes, I'll just throw that on there, and then you got 1 minute. Is that cool?
Yeah.
Let's just make sure we didn't get all the comments out of here. Someone said sloth. Oh, like me under the thing, and then someone said baby Ruth. I don't. Were we talking about food?
Yeah, no, that's from the Goonies, like the guy.
Oh, baby Ruth.
Yeah,
Okay.
he wanted baby Ruths.
And please tell me you have a red balloon so that I could. Yeah, I'm trying to get Uber Eats. I'm not trying to eat children, but let's see. Okay, so Rob.
Okay, well, anyhow, I hate borders. You know, I went through a border the other day, and the guy goes, "What tribe are you from, Chief?" And I'm like, "I'm from the Fakawi tribe, right?" He goes, "The Fakawi tribe." I said, "Yeah, you haven't heard of the Fakawi tribe?" He said, "No." I said, "Well, when my ancestors came to Canada, they were lost in all the snow, and one of them said, 'Where the fuck are we?'" Yeah, he didn't laugh either. But on a sunny day, white people like to go camping, you know, and I don't get the attraction. Like you pay for a place, and you have no comforts from home. You know, you don't have internet, you don't have human contact, you have no running water, and I don't get it. You know, I mean, we call it another name in my neighborhood. We call it poverty. Like if I want the luxury of camping, I'll just go back to the old neighborhood. There's a lot of people that go hiking, you know, and I don't get that either. This fascination with walking nowhere just for the sake of exercise. Like I've been on a lot of hikes in my time, and they just involve running out of gas, you know. White people have like this thing called composting, you know, where they look through scraps and you have to like separate the scraps into different piles, right? Yeah, when I was a kid, we did composting too, but it wasn't through our own garbage, or through other people's garbage. And my dad used to call that survival. White people eat a lot of vegetables, you know, like white people eat 16 pounds more vegetables than any other culture, basically. And I'm thinking, you know, that expression, to have a stick up your ass, well, that doesn't really apply to white people because they got really good, roughage from the vegetables. Like, I think this whole thing is on white people. I'm ragging on white people because they always rag on other races. So I think that the white people invented vegetarianism. Like, the thing I don't understand about vegetarianism is that they have to make everything look like a meat product, you know, like a vegetarian hot dog and a vegetarian hamburger. Hey, Robert, taste this hamburger. It tastes like real meat. No, it doesn't. It tastes like real grass. Like, why don't they just build a gigantic leaf and just use that same shit, you know, and just make a leaf mold or something like that? I mean, that would stop all the confusion. Like I don't have to even confuse myself when I'm trying to eat a vegetarian hot dog. It'd just be a vegetarian piece of leaf or whatever. White people have pets. You know, my dad had some animals. Well, I wouldn't call them pets. He had these ducks following him all over the place, and the leader was quacking. And I think it was trying to get a reprieve from tonight's dinner. You know, like we didn't call our animals pets. We called them food. Now you guys also have the sports thing, right? Where you throw a rock down a sheet of ice, and then I was watching this on TV, and I heard hard, you know, and I'm like, wow, did I leave Pornhub on again, you know? But it was just curling. So driving must be a white person's invention. Like, who ever heard of merging? Like, Asians don't merge, we converge. You know, we see an opening, we all head for the same spot at the same time. And you guys have parallel parking, you know, parking a big thing into a tight space. Well, Asians don't have to worry about parking a big thing. Like, now I know you people in the audience probably think this is a dick joke. You know, was that a dick joke I just heard? Did that comic just say a dick joke? Yeah, it was a dick joke. We're allowed a one dick joke minimum during this cancel culture time. You know, white people like to go on vacations. You know, they take a large ship, and they don't really have any destination, and they spend days at sea. My ancestors had a name for that. They called it torture. One day you're on a road in China, and the next day, you know, you're taking a ship in an overcrowded space with scurvy on it, heading for a nice, strange place called Canada. And I wonder why white people, you know, when different cultures go on vacation, they spend time with their own kids, but a single white male will go on a vacation and spend time with other people's children. Oh, I'm sorry, that's a bit too far. Well, anyhow, white people I think they invented Starbucks, you know, because Starbucks, you pay $5 for 50 cents worth of coffee, and then you argue about whether it's free trade or not. Asians, we argue too, but we drink tea, and we deal with real third world problems like shelter and hunger and poverty. You guys had these toys when you were growing up. One was called the clacker. I don't know if you guys remember that, because it might be before your time, but it was these two hard balls on a string. I could never figure out whether that was for killing or for playing, you know? Like, we had a similar toy in China. We called them nunchucks. That was definitely for killing. And you also had these thing called lawn darts, right? Like, you throw this lawn dart up, and it's supposed to hit a circle, you know? And sometimes it hits somebody's head. Well, we had similar darts, but we threw them forward, which I think is a better idea than throwing up in the air and trying to find out where they're going to land, you know? And we weren't into killing innocent lawns. We just called them darts. Marriage must be a white person's invention. You know, I mean, how, like, staying married to one woman for the rest of your life? I mean, what the fuck? What's up with that? You know, like, that's crazy. You know, Chinese had concubines. We had concubines. We had mistresses, which makes more sense because, you know, we're not monogamous people. And also, I don't understand this whole fascination with money. Like, you pay money to have a woman live with you, and then you have to pay money to get her to leave you. I mean, I don't get it. White people must have a lot of money. Well, anyhow, I'm not going to just, hate on all the white people. They did come up with some good things, like complaining. Complaining is good. If you didn't complain, you'd be stuck in a cave still, because you wouldn't wonder what's on the other side. And GPS is good, but, you know, mine wants to kill me all the time. White people invent electricity, and that's the reason for my high hydro bills. You know, so it's not all bad. Anyhow, in conclusion, tonight I'm just going to prostrate myself, and offer 1,000 apologies to my white side, because I'm half and half. Thanks very much for listening.
Let's give it up for Robert, and then let's give it up for Mr. Ma. I'm splitting it here.
Yeah.
Because Robert is one of the whitest names. White people drink Starbucks. Asians drink star anise. Chinese people had concubines, and white people have Tinder. You can just keep going. There's if you're going to compare white people to Asian people, the possibilities are endless. I'm just trying to think. Your premise was marriage was invented by white people. Can you say that again? Can you help me out, just so we can workshop that?
Marriage must be a white person's invention, because who the hell would stay with the same wife for the rest of your life? You know, like as Chinese, we had concubines, we had mistresses, which makes more sense because we're
Yeah.
a minority people.
Yeah, you don't get to 1.5 billion people by staying with the same woman.
Yeah. The Christian convention, you know, Christianity is a white person's religion. But I'm not hating on white people. I'm just, you know, this is just supposed to be in fun, right? Obviously.
All right, let's go to a white guy, Danny.
Okay. I liked your set. I love that you have like a more like setup towards it, because it's like you can tell that there's a setup, then a punchline. There's setup and a punchline. It's really good. I liked it quite a bit. I liked your whole riffing on the Pornhub thing, and how you're like, you know, think you were watching curling, but really it's like hard, and you're like, is there porn on again here? I thought it was great. I'm trying to find one specifically, but I don't know. I like the whole set, so I was just enjoying it. I was like, I didn't even write notes.
Liz from Facebook says complaining. I don't know if she's talking about me or you mentioned complaining. White people invented complaining.
Yeah, it was pretty good.
Yeah, I like that one too.
That one is like true, and has there's a lot of offshoots you can go from that. I thought when you were saying about the cave, it's like complaining, or as they call it in the Western world, philosophy. You know, it's just high level complaining. You know, true.
Yeah.
Someone says true, yay. So there's people watching, so people agreeing with you, Rob. Sorry, Danny, to cut you off.
Well, I think
No,
I think the reason why I went on this rant is because the last time I went on a Chinese, like I was talking about my own race, right? And people were saying that I was racist. I think it's okay to talk about your own race. Like I won't talk about another race because I can't. Like I won't talk about black people because I've never stepped in their shoes, so I don't know what it's like to experience being a black person. But I know what it's like to be multiracial. Like I'm biracial. My mother is British. My father's Chinese. So, you know. And this is why I went off on this white rant, you know, like, hey, it's about time to get it back.
Well, and at the end, if you say that, it's like, I don't hate white people, just my mother, okay?
It's about time white hates for it. I'm just kidding. I don't care. I mean, it just...
Danny, did you have any more comments before we go to Elner?
No, that was good.
All right, Elner.
First of all, I'm watching us all on a really small screen.
Me too.
I didn't realize you were not white until like 90% of your set was done. There we go. Okay. I thought you were a white guy the whole time. First of all. Then I was like, white people. I was like, okay.
Ocean's 12 behind you. You even have Ocean's 12 here. That's the most white guy film. I was like, this guy's definitely white. Look at him. Come on.
Oh, I didn't even. I couldn't even see it. Like unless you made it big, like there's no way I would have seen it.
Yeah.
Okay. I have some tags that are super offensive, but fine. Father called it surviving on the garbage part, going through the garbage.
Yeah.
But you guys call it dumpster diving. No?
Yeah, it's the same.
Yeah.
Well, it's got something to do with composting.
Yeah, just another thing to roll. And there's the other one where you're talking about the torture.
Yeah.
That the Chinese here that were tortured, and coming over here to get tortured. It's like row your boat to the railway line.
So true, man.
It's true. It's fucked up. But...
Very true.
Yeah. Now that I know that you're Asian, you can say that shit.
Yeah, I can say that shit. I can get away with that shit.
There might be a similarity there. You could say, we escaped torture to come over here and learn about marriage. Torture.
More torture. Yeah. Other than that, obviously everything was like set up, punch, 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 set up, punch, punch, like a lot of very structured work.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I'm trying to do that more in my comedy. Is make it more punch it up, because I believe that people are dumbasses. That's another thing. I mean, I don't like to say this, but there's
Here you
a
go.
lot
You're going solo for this. This is called Rob's
Yeah.
Rants.
of people are dumbasses. If you could see your jokes, they'd just be flying over top of their heads. That's what nothing would hit, because most people are dumbasses. Like if you use any kind of wit or you know what I mean, like. British people are more into like wit, like Benny Hill and Monty Python. But if you try to do wit with the Canadian audience, it doesn't always hit, because I feel like that some of them are into like fart jokes and poop jokes and all this other lowbrow humor, and they're not always into the highbrow, like the wit and
Yeah.
I know
But
you're
I
not
don't
all.
know.
I know
I've
you're not,
watched.
I'm not saying you're all dumbasses. I'm just saying some people are dumbasses. Like, okay, you're fighting people's. You're
I
fighting
think it's a
people.
joke, Rob, because it says sincerely, Mr. Smartass.
Okay. But I mean, you're fighting people's intellect, and you're also fighting their level of inebriation, right? And then if you're trying to tell like these really kind of like complicated jokes, it doesn't happen. So I try to keep it like light and just keep on punching it up.
Hey, here's a joke. If this was you going light, I'd hate to see you go hard.
Yeah, you wouldn't want to see that.
You know what?
Yeah.
You'd be great at podcasting, Rob.
Yeah.
It's a state of mind, though, I think, too, right? Like, because I like to, like, if I'm, like, after work and I'm half, like, kind of like now, I was like, I want to be a dumbass. Like, it's a state, like, I want to veg out in my brain. I don't want it to work. It's, like, overplayed. I want to be dumbass for a little bit.
Yeah, you
Sometimes.
It's also the same with movies, right? Some movies you want to watch and you want just a dumbass movie, and sometimes you want an intellectual movie.
Yeah, exactly.
Literally before we did this show, I watched Dumb and Dumber, and that movie is dumb and smart.
Yeah.
I was just dealing with dumbass people just before.
Have you seen The Ringer with Johnny Knoxville? When he goes to
where he joins the Special Olympics.
Really good. Like I thought it was really good.
Hey, I know it's going to be a weird angle, but for Danny's set, I have to plug my phone in because I'm the host.
Okay. Yeah, definitely.
So is that okay? All right, cool. So I think that was some great feedback, but since it's getting a little later over on the East Coast, we're going to go to Danny.
Okay. Go for it.
You know what? I got one joke I want to try on you guys because it's one of the only good ones that I think I've read, or I've written rather. So I was wondering, there's some these annoying, just fucking people who are, I don't know, they have special diets. They can't eat stuff when they come to your house. They got all these like imaginary things going on with them. And I was like, do this carry over like when you die? Like if you go to heaven, are you a vegetarian even in heaven? Like really? Like we're in heaven, okay? You don't have to pretend anymore. Yo, eat some pork, man. You just fill up. You're in heaven. You made it. They're not going to kick you out. Come on. Have another beer. Come on, lighten up. We're in heaven. But what if you like died and became a zombie? You know what I mean? Like, are there any vegan zombies? Because like all zombies eat brains, but like, are there some that only eat vegetables? Okay, that's the one I wanted to try.
Okay.
I've thought about that exact same concept. Why are people vegans if we're just gonna have being zombies? Because if you are what you eat, look out, grass. But like maybe they're just looking for brains beyond brains. And when you said some people have special diets and they come to their house and they only want to eat vegetables, white people, am I right, Robert? But the concept of a vegan zombie, there's a lot you could go there. Ironically, vegan zombies probably make the worst zombies because their teeth just break right on the first bite. They don't have the protein,
What about zombies who manage to eat a bad brain?
Can you get your mic, Rob?
Well, what about zombies who manage to eat like a brain with mad cow disease? And like, what would you be? Like, would you be a crazy? Like, how could you be more crazy than a zombie?
Oh, there's a word for that. That's how vegans are born.
Mad cow.
Yeah, it's two zombies. They ate mad cow, have a baby. I'm just joking. My brother's a vegan.
Danny's very visual in his comedy, and you'd be good at sketch comedy because I can see you just creating scenes out of your mind. And I'm the same way. Like I usually visualize stuff before I talk about it. But the problem is people don't have the same picture you do. So like they don't see your visual like intelligence, like you're very smart and you see it very visually, but the people in the audience don't see that. So it's really hard to do.
Well, hang on. Let's
sketch
just make him bigger and make sure there's nothing weird behind him.
There is.
My photo wall.
Yeah.
There's definitely something weird behind him.
It'd be weird if there were threads going to all those pictures or some shit.
Or the same picture a million times.
Some real white people shit.
I'd be hanging up by now, It's like,
Do you know what white people would actually do? Connect little, those lights.
That's what he was saying.
Lights
Yeah.
on a stick. Yeah, those would be the ones.
Yeah. Actually, like I said, this has been a big ploy just to keep you guys on the line so we can trace the call.
it's all good. Like,
Hey,
I don't-
Elner.
what do you think, Ryan? Like, if you're a visual person, like you'd be good on Saturday Night Live, right? For visuals, like different, like sketch comedy.
Yeah, if they're looking for, a guy that sounds like Charlie Day ate Bob Dylan and Jonah Hill, we'd be good.
Yeah. But how do you translate that kind of visual sketch comedy to like spoken comedy? Like, how do you do that?
Going back to I think it's the Goonies. I would just take my shirt off and dance.
I think I was gonna give a note, and it kind of relates to what you're talking about of how to do it. When you were talking about like the vegan people, from the start, describe them. Like, be like, oh, this is like, just name them and everything. Like, describe what they look like. They have like that fucked up man bun. They name themselves like David with 2 V's or something like that. Something super fucking weird. Just go into that so you can slowly paint the picture. And then when everybody has that picture, just start bashing that.
Yeah, that'll be all right.
Okay, awesome. Thank you for the notes, guys.
Yeah.
Welcome.
Beautiful.
Take down
All
those threads each time he does a close-up, okay? I'm just messing with
Sorry,
you.
yeah, I'm just charging my phone here. So Elner, that was your comments. So I think we can go to Elner's set.
Yep, let's do it. Okay, so I'm at that age where a lot of my friends are getting married. A lot of them already have. And some of them put those registries up. And so they tell you what kind of gifts they want. I'm not that kind of friend that give you the gift you want. I'm the friend that gives you the gift you need. So I have a few different friends, right? So one friend, I'm not going to give him like the brand new white sheets. I'm probably going to give him a number of a good divorce lawyer with maybe like a free consultation, right? So they can come off right off the bat and figure out how they're going to solve the problems if and so. Another friend, I'm probably going to give him dildos and stuff like that. Why? Because I know my boy. He's not going to put it down. Another friend, I know it's a couple getting married, and I think I'm going to give them like a super high-end toolbox. He ain't going to do shit around the house, but I know she's the man in the house. So she's going to be doing it. And another one is like a delicate relationship. So I'm going to give him a bunch of extra heavy makeup to, cover up those scars, because she's going to beat the fuck out of him every day. So obviously, through searching all this stuff up for these friends, I've been given some weird rabbit holes. And now my search history, thanks to targeted advertising, is kind of strange. So I don't know if you know how target advertising works, but it basically profiles you and then gives you a bunch of shit, right? So men, coincidentally, we're all men. It's really easy to market to men. You're like, oh, sell this car. Here's a hot chick right next to the car. get the car, maybe get the chick. That's how we work. That's very, very simple, right? But for some reason, these advertisers right now are not doing it that way. For instance, I've never smoked a day in my life. I'm getting commercials for Nicorette. What am I going to do with this? Why would I use this? I'm also getting commercials for like dog food. These like nice little songs when you see the happy puppies like running around and then chewing on the stuff and then growing. And the commercial says like, "Oh, happy and healthy teeth for your dog from birth to growth." I've been scared of dogs since I was 4, so for 30 years now. I don't give a fuck about that dog's teeth. Fuck them. I don't need them strong. I don't need them tough. And lastly, guys, I live on the 7th floor. What am I gonna do with a lawnmower? Basically, that's all I have.
All right. That was Elmer, everybody. Elmer. Let's go straight to Rob this time because he has some good feedback usually, and we'll loop back to me.
Yeah, well, I like that. I think there was more punchlines to it. That was good. You start off with wedding gifts, which I think is really funny because, I mean, to buy what they really need and not what they really want. Because you know your friend better than most people, right? They're not going to want a new set of silverware. They're just going to want a blindfold in case they're sleeping with their wife or something like that. I don't know. But I just thought you had some really good lines there. And the other topic was what? Sorry, I'm kind of like, I'm old.
Targeted advertising. So commercials and stuff.
Yeah. So Netflix does that all the time. You watch a freaking baseball movie and then you watch a shark movie and then they give you a horror with a shark in a baseball outfit or something like that. They just combine the shark. Netflix pisses me off, right? I mean, but you could do more on that, like how they target. They do all this weird targeting shit, man. They should stop doing that, really. But I get it. Yeah. Okay, I'm done.
Mm-hmm.
Ryan, I'm done.
All right. Okay.
I'm done, man. Time for my sponge bath. It's time for my sponge bath. I still have to convince the caregiver to jump in with me, but I'm just messing with you. I'm old. Okay. I'm old for a comic. I'm old. I'm pretty old for a comic. I got into this game really late, man. Really, really late. Like you know how old I am?
I'm gonna guess.
Okay, guess.
65.
Yeah, in July. So I mean, I got into this so late, and I don't talk about
time out. No one's gonna give me any.
I said nice. I said nice for your guess. I was acknowledging the.
That's a bullseye right there.
That's pretty good. Yeah, you know your ages, but yeah, I don't talk about Tinder or Bumble, any of that shit. I talk about like just knocking the girl over the head with a club, like we did in the old school. We didn't use drugs; we just used a good club. Never mind. I'm just going off my own stuff now. Sorry, that's what happens when you get old. You start spacing out.
Yeah.
Look at Danny, man. Danny can't stop laughing.
Robert, I fucking love it, man. It's so awkward. It's funny. I love it. Every time I'm like, please don't stop. Please keep going.
I love when he's done. He actually mic drops. He like puts it down.
Mic drop. Yeah. No, it's I don't know, man. It's all good. Yeah, it's all good.
So Elner, I was like thinking like, man, those commercials really work. Like, I saw the Nicorette commercial. I mean, I don't want to miss out, so I started smoking that day, so I know what it feels like to quit. And dog food. Why do I want to lure dogs to my house? What am I, Ryan? And what am I going to do with a lawnmower in my apartment? Cut up bodies? Psh, yeah, right. I don't even have to get out of a ticket.
Yeah.
And then you said you grew up on the 7th floor, which sucks because maybe you used to like to pee off your front porch. I mean, you could still do it, but the yelling from the people down there just
like construction people outside my house right now.
makes it so hard to pee, and everyone knows interrupting a stream is terrible.
I keep on getting dick enlargement ads on my Facebook. Well, that's fucking racist. They must know that I'm Chinese.
I think you could do a thing. You're like fucking racist. Doesn't even work.
Actually, I got a commercial for Villalago treatments today.
That's
real.
Like, that's the disease that Michael Jackson had, right?
Yes, and it's like the chick in the commercial has like spots all over her face, and I got it on Facebook, and I think I got it because my picture on Facebook is with my motorcycle helmet. So it looks like pigment. It's like very different colors. So a computer would think it's like, oh, you have this shit.
You could
so
actually
obviously I reported it and flagged it for terrorism and stuff.
You could do a whole set on that, man. Like a whole set. Because the good thing about that is everybody's getting bombarded by these shitty ads, right? Everybody can relate. So you can go off on that like forever.
The ads you get are customized, guys. So if you're getting them, mine are just for diabetes medication. So
I figured out actually with a friend of mine, like a couple days ago, why I'm getting the ones I'm getting. It's because of geolocation. It's mostly because of the neighborhood I live in. Everyone else in this neighborhood do not live in apartments. They all live in houses and they're kind of rich, so they have dogs and shit. I'm the only person living in an apartment building in a rich neighborhood.
In a rich neighborhood, you're not Forest Hill, are you?
No, Summerhill, just like a little bit south.
If there's a hill.
If there's a hill, there is.
If there's a hill in Toronto.
Again, like you can tell when you're coming back from the subway, or when you used to come back from the subway, you can tell the people with you. They're like, "Oh, you're living in my apartment building. You're not stopping by any of the houses on the."
It's too late for you to be going to take care of their kids. Oh, you live where I live.
Yeah, exactly.
They'll figure that out when you tell them you're a comedian. Like comedy is not even a career. I mean, I don't know of any other career where you get paid in beer or a free meal. Like you usually get money in a career. You know what I mean? Yeah.
Yeah.
As soon as you say you're a comedian, you're barely making it. You know what I mean?
You're a painter.
Did everyone do their comments for Elner?
Danny?
Or for Danny, sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
So then Elner, you're up, right, brother?
No, I just did it.
That's what I asked. Did everyone give you comments?
Yes, everyone gave me comments.
Okay. All right, cool.
I think we're done.
I think we all went, except for you.
Ryan, did you go?
No. It was amazing. Remember?
Yeah.
All right. I Googled it. I haven't done this set since 2018, so I'm gonna try and do a story set. Is that cool? Just to see if I can, if it has punches. So I live in Hamilton, but I did grow up in a small town. The kind I told you at the start of this. The kind where you smoke weed, throw rocks at trains, play doctor with your cousin. And anytime I got caught doing something, I get caught by my dad, and I would just yell, "Don't tell mom," because growing up in a small town, the moms could beat your ass. We didn't have children's aid. It would just be, "Mama, no." But the country was boring, man. If you weren't playing with your friends, you were playing with yourself. But we did not have porn back then. All these kids with a smartphone that can just go upstairs and Google stepbrother and all that weird incest shit. You know what I mean? We had secret stashes of National Geographic where I would sneak down to the basement and jerk off to some big old tribal titties. That's what we had. It was hard to get. Like we had like one TV and one family computer. So when your parents would like go out for grocery shopping, you'd be like, "Tell me exactly how long you're going to be gone because I need to walk the dog once or twice." You know what I mean? And I already told you guys, but we had dial-up and we couldn't even have 56K. So I shit you not, I still think girls' eyebrows are sexy because that's the first thing that would load, as it would go line by line. You know what I mean?
Ah.
And when you had one family computer in the basement, you had to wait for your family to go to sleep, and you go downstairs and start downloading at like 8 p.m. on a Saturday. And my friend got caught jerking off Sunday morning because he just passed out, pants around his ankle, floppy dick in his hand, and he didn't even come. We still call him blue balls to this day at his wedding, you know. And because the internet was so slow, we had to share pictures because we did not have time to like figure this out. So I got an email once and it said hottest chick ever. And I'm like, why would they lie, right? Line by line, eyebrows come, check out, I start going, right? Tits, we're good. And then I just see something kind of over the navel. I don't know what it was. And they had sent me a picture of a woman with a massive erection, But hey, my family was getting up for church soon, and I don't want to be called blue balls, right? But eventually, pictures don't do it for us. So we had this system. I don't know if you guys remember City TV. You guys might not be old enough. City TV had like softcore porn on Friday nights called Baby Blue 2. And I would tape over that shit with like loose tapes I found, like Baby's First Step. I hope my parents never watched that. You know what I mean? But then even that wasn't enough. So my dad got Bell Express View, and there was pay-per-view. And I was so excited. And I thought, you know what? I'm just going to get a bunch of my friends over. We'll split the cost, and we'll just tell my mom that we're like watching a bunch of wrestling in the basement, because that's like less weird than us all watching porn. And it was awesome. And on the bill, it just said pay-per-view. And I recorded so much, you know what I mean? But I had to get creative because I didn't want to get caught, because I had a big bag of porn. It was like primitive Netflix. So we would come up with names on them. The first one we had was Red Dawn because the girl had beautiful red hair. We had Black to the Future, Teenage Mutant Ninja Squirters, Toy Story, right? And I felt very powerful. I would lend out every one of those tapes except for one. This tape I actually ordered off eBay using a money order. I don't know if you guys even remember a money order. And I ran my fat ass to that mailbox in the country every day for 3 weeks. Most exercise I had all summer. And one day it came. I saw the light just hitting that mailbox. It was like coming from God, and I picked it up. I still remember. I kept the box. Fuck my black pussy. 4 hours. It was all mine. Thank you, National Geographic, for that weird fetish. And things were good. I was actually one of the more popular kids in school. I'd lend out all my tapes until one day, my porn dealing days came down crashing harder than Princess Diana in a limo. And my dad calls me in the living room. He goes, Ryan, I don't know how to ask you this, but are you a porn dealer? It's like, what? Because Charles's mom said she found a video called Pulp Friction, said he got it from you. I was like, I don't know, And Neil's mom said the same thing, something about Die Hard on. And I was like, still, I don't know. And he goes, and then I found this. And he pulls it up. And to this day, I still hear his words, fuck my black pussy. What's this? And I was like, maybe it's mom's. I don't know. Like, and he goes, cut the shit. I'm destroying the VCR, and storms off like the VCR was the problem, right? And I remember, we didn't really talk about that for like 10 years. And I was back home for a family wedding, and I didn't have anything to wear. So I just went up to my dad's sock drawer to like borrow some fancy socks. And I feel something, and I lift whatever it was, and it comes out, and it says, fuck my black pussy. He had kept that tape the whole time. He didn't throw it out. And I couldn't believe it. And I stormed downstairs. My mom's outside hanging, clothes to dry. And I go, look what I found in your sock drawer. And he looks at me and goes, maybe it's mom's. I don't know. And he goes, just don't tell her. But I did, and they got a divorce. But the good news is he's about to get remarried, which means someone's getting a stepsister. So we're good. Yeah. Thanks. Haven't done that in a while. So I did fuck up a bunch of that punches and stuff, but I wish I could share my screen, but I'll just show you, Eleanor. I went through it, and I remember highlighting the punches in bold, and then and I would try and go through my set like that.
Can you make you the middle real quick?
Pardon?
Can you make your screen the middle for a second?
I'm on my phone. I can't.
Never mind. It's all good. It's all
I
good.
want to
Yeah.
copy on the test. Don't do it.
Fuck it. Just print screen it to me and send it to me whenever.
That just when you go through your set,
Yeah.
whenever you think there's a punch, you can just indicate it, and then you can see how much text is in between.
Yeah.
Anyways, you guys can talk about that, but it's hard to talk about the story sets because of that.
Yeah.
Someone said, "Good work, guys. I have to go." Someone said, "Coming from God." Oh, that would be a good porn name. Yeah.
Yeah. I had some comments. I wanted to know, what did your mom beat your ass with? When I was growing up, we were getting beat up. I don't know what the name for it in English is. It's like a rolling stick that you for rolling the dough.
Yeah, that's what it is. It's a
Rolling pin.
dough roller.
Yeah, whatever.
Rolling.
We definitely got beat with that.
It's called a rolling, not a dough roller.
I thought there was like a name for it. Whatever. I don't know. Okay.
What the hell? Where do you get that from?
It's a rolling pin.
It's a rolling pin,
That's a dough roller.
not the dough roller. That's like the guy selling biscuits in the corner, the dough roller.
Hold on. Okay, yeah. Because you said the eyebrow thing. When you're talking about the eyebrow thing,
Yeah.
you can specifically talk. Well, two things. A, you can specifically talk about girls with hot eyebrows.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
There's a bunch of models that are specifically known for their eyebrows. I can't remember. There's an English one. I can't remember.
This is real highbrow humor here. I have to look it up.
Then they also can be, if they're not pixelated, then it's not for me. And then to this day, I ask girl to send me pixelated nudes.
Yeah. So honestly, I just watch Japanese porn.
Another thing.
Yeah, the first time I saw a vagina, I'm like, where's the squares?
Yeah, what's going on with this? Red Dawn. I had a completely different interpretation for this, and it's period porn.
Red Dawn. Period.
Yeah. Those are the tags I had. Other than that, it was
That's
awesome.
good. And it's good to, I could share this story with you, but it's that was my first set ever, and I keep going back to it. I sometimes I dust it off and do it. So story sets can be fun, but even then, you look at it, and since that's the first time I've done it, I miss some of the stuff. I miss some of the punches, but it can be fun. A good time to use a story set is if you have a longer set, maybe, and you've already got the audience, and then you can do a story and come back. But if you're just gonna do like a 5-minute spot, you might want to win the audience over by just having like the short jokes. Yeah. That's just. But story sets can be a lot of fun, and sometimes with me, I'm like kind of like a goofy, chubby teddy bear kind of guy. So sometimes people are like, oh, what's this gonna say? And then all of a sudden they're like, he's talking about black pussy.
Did you have a French channel?
We did have a French channel, but it was like TVO. It was like
the French 25. Channel was where you get your nudity from if you were like really struggling to get nudity. and you'd become bilingual really quickly because you'd be reading the subtitles, it's like following the French language. So, I mean, even before Baby Blue, there was a French channel that you could, like, if you're really starving for porn, right? I mean, we had the French channel in BC. Like, that's one place, they don't give a shit what they show on the French channel, right? And the thing with the National Geographic titties, right? That's pretty good. Like, I remember those magazines too.
I would go through and just find them. Like, ooh, this one.
But couldn't you say like you could never, you never could get used to a normal titty now? They'd have to be hanging down to their kneecaps or some shit like that.
I think when my parents moved only a couple of years ago, my dad called me up. He's like, "Do you want your magazines?" I'm like, "Which ones?" And I thought he found my old porn. He's like, "The sticky National Geographics." I'm like, "No, throw them out."
It's either that or the Sears catalog going through the bra section.
Yeah, that's probably the only
That's
magazine.
where you get, like in a small town, that's where you get your porn from.
Well, think about it. National Geographic, going back to your set, might be the only magazine I've ever, done that had a centerfold, but it was a map.
Yeah, no doubt.
Hey, Danny, did you have any comments? It's cool if you didn't.
No, man, you guys said it all. I completely agree that it's fun to go back to those old sets, and it was good that you had punches throughout. So it made it entertaining, and I was able to follow through in the story the entire time. So that was fun, man. That was a good one.
All right. Well, this actually brings us.
Was it
go ahead.
about growing up in a small town or something like that, or no?
Yeah,
Or was it-
I have like a whole set about growing up in a small town. Like I say,
Talk
you know,
about how there's only one showing, and the good thing about that is if you miss it, you can see it for the next 29 days because they only got one, like a month-long engagement, and you're one small theater.
I literally had a small theater called the Roxy, and in 1997 they were only showing Titanic and Spice World, the Spice Girls movie, and I saw both of them like 5 times because they was making so much money. They didn't, like, when the movie stops making money, they'll rotate it out, but they just kept it. So Friday nights we'd go see a movie, and I'm like, "Do you want to see Spice World, or do you want to see Titanic?" And my friend's like, "We picked Spice World so we could get out earlier and like hang out." So I think I saw the movie like 8 times.
You must know all the lines then.
And then ironically, my first Playboy was when Playboy did Jerry Halliwell, which is the redhead in the Spice Girls. Some of you guys are probably too young. Spice Girls are like a girl band. You probably heard of them.
Yeah, I remember them.
Dude, you are Joe Belushi incarnate. You look just like him. I swear to God. Every time I look, I'm like, fucking Christ.
So this is the point of the show where we tell the audience who stuck with us. A couple of them stuck with us the whole time. We had like, I don't know, I'm looking at like 20 comments, which is great. People want to know where they can find you, where they can find more of you. So this is where I am gonna make you big. So I'm gonna start with Robert, and Robert, you can tell us where we can find you on social media, maybe any shows, whatever.
Well, I post a lot on Facebook, so I think you just need to use Robert Ma as a search thing. And I have an outdoor comedy show, but depends if you guys are in Vancouver, because I have an outdoor comedy show tomorrow. We're going to be doing like a full-on comedy show with like 7 comics.
What's it called?
What the hell is it called? I don't know, some stupid thing like Comedy in the Park or something like that. It's not it's a movement. We're trying to start a movement is what we're trying to do, because there's no indoor comedy and people are really, really suffering from lack of entertainment. We're trying to give them some entertainment. So that's the whole, and it's growing, but it's going to take a while. It's at Trout Lake Park. From 6 to 8, if you're in the neighborhood, anybody in the neighborhood in Vancouver, Trout Lake Park, 6 to 8. It's going to be a really good show. That's about it. And you can see my videos. I do a lot of videos on Facebook, like tons of videos. That's about it. I don't use Instagram very often. I don't really know how to use Instagram.
All right. The one, the only, Robert Ma, everybody. Round of applause.
Yeah, we broke the mold. Thank you very much.
Danny, I'm guessing you have a podcast. Can you tell us about that?
So it's called the Ploppy Podcast, where I don't do a podcast. It's actually a sketch comedy show. I do lots of sketches on there. It's a YouTube channel. You can find me on Facebook, everywhere at the Ploppy Podcast. All
right. Once again, Danny from the Ploppy Podcast. What's your last name again for people?
Lopiano.
Gesundheit. Okay, Danny, everybody. Hey, Elner. We know you're in
Yes, sir.
Toronto, but do you want people to follow you on some media? Do you want some new Facebook friends?
I don't want them to follow me on the street. Um, no, I got nowhere else that I'm actively doing stuff except for except for here, basically. So yeah,
All
more
right,
follow me
catch
at the workshop.
Danny here.
Yeah, come see
And
more
me.
workshops.
Oh yeah, come check him out at the workshop. There he is, one more time. Elner Kazimov, everybody. All right, and me, you can find me if you want on TikTok at the bottom. I release bi-weekly videos called Chowing Down, where I eat food that doesn't agree with me because I have IBS. You can follow me on Twitter at Rhinestone Comedy, Instagram at CedarSim, or you can just go to YouTube and type Chowing Down, but don't put the G. It's Chowing Down. I don't know who's watching them, but thousands of people are watching me have diarrhea. So that's where you can catch me. All right.
Yeah.
This has been The Workshop, episode 350. All the audience, all the comments, thank you so much. We will be back tomorrow with some more people. I'm just a guest host. Bye.
Awesome. Have a good night,
Good
guys.
job.
Hey.